Well, hello, Bulldog Nation. Welcome back to Bulldog Breakdown with Coach Rocco. I'm Cody Moomaw. So good to be with you. We're here to dive into another great game. We had a display. I would say that the score says a dominant display, but some things we can talk about here in a little bit. I loved watching the defense. This week's episode is going to be packed with insights, an incredible player of the week that you guys are going to love to get to meet. And then we're going to look back at our previous game, but we're also going to look ahead at the Liberty Minutemen, what we got coming up this week. So whether you're a diehard fan, aspiring athlete, or just somebody that loves good football, stay tuned. We got some good stuff coming up for you. All right, welcome back to Bulldog Breakdown with Coach Rocco. We're in the film room. We're not really in a film room, Coach. We're at the concession stand here at Bulldog Stadium. I wish Andy was cooking us a burger right now, but he's not. But we're gonna pretend film room. Want to talk about the game and what you saw a little bit. We got airplanes coming down on us right now. It's the hazards of working outside. But first thing I want to start with, you know where I sit with football. I'm all about defense. I love defense. One thing that I did love to see, we had some defensive dominance from the beginning, which I'm thankful for. We needed that to get us through. The defense shown this game, especially in the first half, when it seemed like the offense was needing to take some time to find its rhythm. Can you walk us through a little bit of the defensive game plan for Rustburg? We had talked earlier about the two running backs, the one that was speedy and quick, and the other one could bowl you over. How was it executed so well, especially at the beginning of the game there?
Yeah, I think we put together a really good game plan. A lot of containing good running backs is to stop them before they get started. If you give them a lot of time or a lot of room on the perimeter to get turned upfield and get a head of steam up, they become very difficult to get down. So, we had some schemes and looks and some automatic checks that whenever they would give us a certain look, we would go into a certain defensive structure that allowed us to get quicker penetration and keep a running back from getting a head of steam. So without giving too many specifics, we're just trying to get them stopped before they get started.
You guys are in the film room. We got to keep this between us right here. Very good. Well, whatever it was pretty cool to watch. Like I said, for them to be able to do that so well at the beginning and hold them in check. Something I think that we're going to probably talk about every single week is Gideon's performance. Again, with the offense taking a little while to crank up, 275 yards, I think, on 15 carries, 3 touchdowns. 85-yard run, which from my perspective looked like the line blocked beautifully on that one.
Yeah,
fantastic.
He's the best. I mean, I've never seen, or I've never coached or seen, quite honestly, a back that you can just take the ball and go make things happen like him. I mean, he's the best. We've talked in previous weeks about some schemes that we do in the blocking schemes to get creases and whatever to get him through it. And that particular long run you were talking about, it opened up just enough. It wasn't a big crease, but Gideon got through there nice, and then once he got down the sideline, it was over. He is the rarest of rare when it comes to take the football and run into run down there and score a touchdown. Yeah, he's with the best of them.
Yeah, it was interesting watching that one from the end zone view because you don't see him right away, but all of a sudden you see that hole just open like that, and boom, he pops through. Right. Starting out the game, it was obvious that there was some miscommunication or just some things going on offense that didn't look like our normal Bulldogs running down. Now it's hidden by the fact that we went in at halftime 21-0, but it didn't feel that way. What's going on in those moments? What adjustments, if any, were made to get the offense and the offensive line rolling?
There were several plays that happened that just were not clean football plays, and we had too many men on the field one time, and I won't get into too much detail about that, but it was something that just earlier that day we reviewed, and we didn't play it out on the field. We had a mishandled ball on a read play that we were executing, and give it to Gid or quarterback keep it, and the ball ended up landing on the ground and gave a turnover. So yeah, we were not pleased with the at least in the first half, the overall execution. But sometimes it goes without being seen because you end up winning a game against a really good team, and then it seems like everything's okay. But we as coaches, study the film and we look at some of the imperfections, and it's our job to try to get those cleaned up. So this week is going to be back to the drawing board in a lot of ways, and just getting some, we called it an upward trajectory towards excellence. We've got to get back on that trajectory, whereas, you don't want to be level, you don't want to dip, you want to be on an upward trajectory, especially as you're coming down the home stretch. So
right.
That's going to be the mission of this week's practices.
So many people don't see Carter up taking stats. He does stats.
Yeah.
He keeps a lot of stuff for us, and what it does, it gives us insight into how some players are doing.
Tremendous.
And I know that we're in high school football right now, but I looked at the quarterback rating for Jeb this season and this game, 149.8 for this game, and overall for the year it's right about 128, which was excellent.
As an NFL player, you're making $5 million.
Right. For those that don't really understand what that means, it's all of the stats together. Explain a little bit of what that significance is, and what does that say about his performance this season? Yeah,
I mean, we asked Jeb to move the team down the field, get first downs, take care of the football, and lead the team. And, each week he's gotten better and better and better. He's thrown one interception this year, and that was really a kind of a receiver not ready for a pass, and it kind of caught him off guard, and it kind of bounced, and the defender intercepted it. But for the most part, he has played a high level of game managing type of offense. The beauty of Jeb is, he's, stature-wise, he's not the biggest guy, but, he's got a strong arm. When people come in here and they look at, there's that little quarterback, and they think all he can do maybe is, run some zone read stuff and keep the ball, and because he's a fast kid too. But, he's thrown many, daggers down the field.
Just ask Salem, 56-yard touchdown pass.
And multiple this year. That it catches the defense and the opposing team off guard, thinking like this guy's more of a short, underneath type passer.
So have you seen defenses leaning towards that kind of, in baseball sometimes when they don't think somebody's a good hitter, they'll cheat up and then the ball gets hit over the head. Have you seen defenses kind of playing up on it?
Well, it's coupled with trying to get safeties down in the box to defend our run.
Right.
So when defenses choose to do that, they do play somewhat cautiously, because they know you would probably have in your offensive arsenal something that looks like you're going to run, but then you're going to throw over top of them.
Right.
And that's where we specialize in. And, we've had strong arm quarterbacks, big, strong drop back guys in our program for years and years and years. And, so Jeb doesn't look like that, but he still executes all the things that previous quarterbacks have done in our offense. So he's doing a great job, and that passer index, QB index that you're talking about, really takes all of the aspects of what a quarterback is responsible for, blends it all into one statistic, and he's functioning at a high level.
That's awesome. Before we leave, looking back, we're going to talk about this with Griff. Griffin won the Jason Brown Award. That is a very special award
absolutely.
with LCA.
Yeah.
For those that are new to the Bulldogs or just don't know, tell me a little bit about the Jason Brown Award and what that means to LCA. What is a player that gets that? What is that telling us about who they are?
Yeah. So I've never met Jason Brown. I moved down here, after his passing. But I have become very, very close with the family, the Brown family, the Bradleys now, and so I mean they are a very, very close to me, and I feel that. I mean, they're like family to me. Carrie, the sister, was my secretary for 16 years. Carter Bradley's on our staff. He's a nephew, and he's on our coaching staff, played for us, played over at Liberty. And so, I mean, I love the family. And what I hear about Jason is not just from them. It's from people like yourself and others that played with him and knew of him. And so to be able to have an award that honors the inspirational player of that game at homecoming every year has been an honor for me to be a part of it, and the presentation of that, and having the Brown family there, and they usually show up all hands on deck that night. So yeah, Jason, was a hardworking, inspirational player in his own right, and was taken from us all too soon. And our field house across the street here is named the Jason Brown Field House. So his memory will live on forever.
Yeah, it really is a precious thing to see. Number 33, love him. Yeah. All right, when we come back, we're going to ask Coach some questions. You guys sent in some questions, and then we're going to take a look at Liberty Bedford, and then we'll get out with another great episode. And we're back with what's becoming, I guess, their favorite segment of this. That's is fun. Ask Coach Rocco. We learned about Penn State, white shoes, all kind of stuff last time. One of your players sent this in. I'm not going to reveal who it was, but they want to know, do you have a particular game coaching here at LCA that stands out as maybe your favorite game, your most memorable game that you coached in? Something that just jumps to mind.
Yeah, I'd probably say the very first season in the state championship game. We won the state championship in overtime in our very first season here. And we've had a lot of memorable games, but because that was the first year here, first state championship, I would probably say that.
That's fair. A guy named Mike says, Coach, with such a dominant season so far, how do you keep a team motivated and avoid complacency in games that on paper seem to be easier than others?
Yeah. Great question. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier about remaining on a trajectory of excellence. We met with our team today because we did not play a clean game against Rustburg, and although it looked like it was clean because of the final outcome, it was not. And if we allow those slip-ups to continue to happen, we'll start dipping instead of remaining on that type of a trajectory. So we've got 16-year-old boys, 17-year-old boys, their minds can tend to go one way or the other, and you got to hold feet to the fire sometimes. And our guys have been very responsive. They're great kids. They're great young men. But still, we've got to make the main thing the main thing. And like the Pittsburgh Steelers say, the standard is the standard.
Right.
So you can't stray from that.
In our culture, it's you say don't read your press, don't read your own press, and it's hard in this social media, digital culture not to read everything people are saying about you, and 41-0, 42-0. Sometimes it's hard not to start believing that you're more than you are. So that's really cool to hear how that goes. Hey, these are great questions. Keep them coming in. You can send them in through our Instagram, DM us. We'll put out a box on our story every once in a while, and you can do it on our Facebook as well. Ask Coach Rocco. It's one of my favorite segments too.
Thank you.
All right, Bulldogs. Today we have a sideline spotlight with somebody that should need no introduction after Friday night. Yeah. Bro, your effort was nothing short of inspiring. Bulldogs, this is Griffin Tilley. Welcome to the sideline spotlight. Not only did you have a big game on the field, but then you get to receive the Jason Brown Award after the game. thrown up on your teammates' shoulders. I mean, that is a pretty great night.
Yes, sir.
What a time. First thing, Griff, I want you to do for me, first of all, how long have you been playing football?
This will be my third season playing football ever.
Did you ever envision a night like Friday night?
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
Good. I'm glad you said that. I still do, and there's no way I could even walk on a football field now. So you had 2 touchdowns on Friday night. Two big touchdowns. One high-flying acrobatic catch and one 29 yards, I think it was. Caught the ball basically on the line of scrimmage. Dalton throws you a block, but you took it to the house. Walk me through those touchdowns. What's going through your mind? Let's talk about the acrobatic one. You're running the corner of the end zone. Tell me a little bit about what that play's supposed to look like, what you're supposed to be doing in that. How did that play out for you?
So the play is, it's a bubble. The inside guy runs a bubble, and the 2 wide receivers that are outside of him, we're supposed to go and block for him, but this was like a phony. Okay. And so I was supposed to act like I was supposed to go block and slip him and go into the end zone as Jed throws it. Yeah. And so Jed threw it and just had to go up and get it.
How hard was that coming down with that ball? Because the defender, I mean, he got a hold of you. He did everything he could to break up that before you hit the ground.
Yep.
How hard was it to hold onto that ball?
I just held on as tight as I could, and that's about all I had to do, just hold on tight. Nice.
What do you remember the moments after your teammates coming over?
I just remember Josh Pillay, he ran over. We just jumped up. We shoulder bumped, and then I just got crowded.
That's nice. Coach, what did you think of that play when you watched it? Like you drew it up? Or?
Oh, no. Yeah, it was like that play's supposed to work. But, as we were just watching a little bit together here a moment ago, they're safe. Their corner bit on it like he's supposed to, but like Griffin's also a free safety. He knows that a free safety just can't go biting on it as well. He's got to check for the number 1 receiver to make sure something like that isn't happening. And so their free safety bit for a second and let Griff get down the sideline, but then he recovered and, like you said, was right on the spot. So Griff had to make a very tough acrobatic catch. Although we burnt the corner, the safety still got over to make a play. But it was a tremendous play, and so happy for Griff. I mean, he's had a tremendous senior year.
Yeah, it was really cool. Then the second touchdown, 29 yards out, ball's thrown basically at the line of scrimmage type thing, and then it's all up to you. What are you seeing as you're running down the field? At what point in that run did you say, I'm getting 6 out of this?
It was once I realized Dalton made a great block on the corner and I got to get past the safety where he was behind me, I knew I was going to make it into the end zone.
You're in the end zone going, I just scored my second touchdown.
Yep.
That was pretty great. I loved watching your teammates come out and celebrate you. Now, I'm a defensive guy, and so my favorite play of yours during the game, the back slid out to the right, your right, and you chased him down and made a big play over, I think it was like at the 40 or 50-yard line toward the end of the game. Big tackle. You like playing defense?
I really like playing defense. Safety, it's fun because you can be more free and go make plays, which I really like.
That's nice. Coach, describe to me a little bit of what you see in a player like Griff, what he brings to the team.
I mean, he's the ultimate team player. I mean, he's our poster boy, really. I mean, like you said, he's only played for 3 years, so it's not like he's 8 years veteran of the sport. There's still a lot about the game. He's still learning. I've told several people this after he had the great game the other night, that there was probably not one guy on our team that worked harder than Griffin Tilley this off season. There'd be times I would come down in the field house to pick something up or whatever, get something out of my locker, and I'm looking in the weight room and Griff's in there, and so he's definitely deserved having great things happen to him. and we're just so happy for him. I mean, he was also, you didn't mention, he was in our homecoming court.
That's true.
Friday. So not only did he win the Jason Brown Inspirational Player, did he have 2 touchdowns, did he have a great game, but he was also in the homecoming court. And I think probably the greatest accomplishment that he made Friday night, on top of all that, was that he maintained focus and was able to execute his responsibility in a manner with excellence. And, we'll talk, I'm sure, about this as we go, but we didn't do that everybody across the board that night,
right.
and he did. So, I'm just proud of him, and I know he's got big games still ahead of him yet the rest of this year.
Yeah. Speaking of the Jason Brown Award, congrats on winning that. It's a big award.
Thank you.
Jason was a good friend of mine, and it is really cool thing to see you up there. How significant is that recognition for you? When you heard your name called as the recipient of that, you know what that award means. What did that mean to you to win that?
It was very honoring to get that. I wasn't really expecting it, so it was just shocking to get it. It was great. When
your teammates threw you up on their shoulders, how did that feel?
It was a little like, whoa, like this is a little much, but it was awesome.
For me, I look, Coach, you maybe can speak to this too. To me, it showed a bond. You talked about all the work that he puts in.
Right.
When I see them do that with him, I see a group of guys that recognize the work that he's put in and the deserving nature of that award.
Yeah, I mean, every team has 1, 2, 3 guys that, like you used the term earlier, Cody, role player. Maybe we can call Griff a role player because he does play safety, he plays receiver, he's on our kickoff teams, he's on some special teams, so he's a jack of all trades. Yep. And his teammates respect that about him. He's not the starter all the time, although he does play, and but when he does get his opportunities, he does these kind of things: interceptions on defense, makes plays on offense, and tackles on kickoff coverage. So
yes.
I mean, he's one of our leading tacklers on there too. So yeah, he's a tremendously respected teammate on this team, and the coaches. He was our player of the game as we give out awards as well as a team. We just did that here moments ago.
This might be a little bit hard. This is the last question I got for you. Now I'll let you go because I know you're probably hungry. You want to go home, do your studies, all the good stuff, get ready. Right now, we got young guys growing up in this football program, middle school and JV. If you're sitting with a group of guys that are hoping for a night like last night, one of those nights, they're looking up, they want to do that. What would you tell them that they need to be doing?
I'd say they need to be consistent. They need to keep working hard and don't just go through the motions, just keep working hard and be consistent.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, Griffin Tilley. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
All right, we're back for our final segment of the day. Coach, we're going to look ahead to the game that is to come. We're going on the road over to Bedford. We did that last year, came away victorious. We've had a good season so far. I want to jump into the Liberty Minutemen, what it is that we're looking at. I watched our friend Andre Kendrick interviewed the coach and some of the guys from Liberty, and they are really working and developing a program out there. Every game has an opportunity, regardless of the opponent's record. We talked about our trajectory and keep going forward. But specifically with going up against Liberty Minutemen, how do you approach playing a team like this when they're having such a challenging season right now?
Yeah, I mean, I respect Coach Robertson a whole lot. He played over at Liberty University for my brother and then actually with my son Chris, so I've known him for a lot of years and respect the fact that he's from Liberty High School, and so he wanted to go back home and try to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. Everybody can complain, we're not as good as we used to be,
And Liberty is an established program.
No doubt. Yeah, they've won state championships and whatever. So I'm very respecting his mission to what he wants to get done there. I mean, they're just in a cycle right now, as a lot of schools are, with football being demanding and kids not wanting to do it, and it makes it even harder when the program's not winning to get kids out and get them buying in and so forth. So they've got a lot of young kids. They actually, their JV team was disbanded after probably 3 or 4 games this year, and they moved all the JV up to the varsity. So they're playing the varsity team, which is a combination of JV kids and varsity kids. So they're on the struggle bus a little bit, but I'm sure Daryl will, over the long run, get that thing going. But in regards to how do you prepare for that, it's just like I was saying, we've got to coach ourselves. This is a week about us. We're worrying about ourselves and making ourselves better, rather than we got to go out and beat this team Friday night. If we take care of business, we feel that can happen, but we still have to become better in our own skin, and that's the focus of this week.
When you look at statistics, they can tell you a lot, but sometimes it doesn't tell you everything. And statistics for the Minutemen might not be favorable right now, but every team has their strengths. They have their weaknesses. As you're preparing, what are some of the aspects that you see in their game? We talked about a running back, a young man I don't think he's ever played football before, but he's come in, running back. I think he's in 9th grade. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you've seen in them that give them some hope? Yeah,
they have, very similar to what Rustburg did. They really try to attack the perimeter, and this number 9, the freshman tailback, does a nice job trying to use his speed and agility to get on the perimeter. They will spread you out as well and go multiple receiver packages where they just try to get the defense spread out, and quarterback throws fairly well. They use 2 different guys, and so if you're letting your guard down, they can get behind you and get a quick touchdown in the air. But I really feel like if we can just do what we do and do it at a level that is expected, we can contain what they do. And defensively, they have a pretty aggressive defense as well, and play a lot of man coverage, so it allows them to really bring blitzes and bring defensive linemen shooting gaps and things like that. So, we can't let our guard down.
So one final thing, football is more than scores. It's more than records. We're growing these players. You watch Griff, guys like that. How do you instill in the Bulldogs the value of sportsmanship and character, especially when facing a team that's having kind of a tough season like this?
Yeah, our kids, there is a fine line. We're competing. This is all about going out and competing. So the game of football, you can't go out on the field with a less than aggressive mindset. That's what the game is. So, but in a game like this, where we respect the opponent, and we in no means ever want to do anything that can be in any way construed as disrespectful or whatever. You might at some point have to back off, and we will do the appropriate thing when it presents itself. But football's football, and we've got to get the boys ready to play, and you can't go out on the field halfway. You got to go all out. So we will do the appropriate thing if and when it presents itself.
Very good. Well, I'm excited. Another week of football coming up Friday night at Liberty High School in Bedford, 7 o'clock. You can get your tickets online through GoFan. We'll provide the link for you guys to do that. We'd love to see Bulldog Nation show out in numbers. Yeah. We've had a great turnout here. Love to see you guys make it to Bedford. Coach, thanks for hanging with us for another great episode. Bulldog Nation, this has been Bulldog Breakdown with Coach Rocco. Go Dogs.